Hello everyone. Again we are here in the series of special audit. Now we are going to discuss about the bank audit. Banks are the backbone of every type country's economic structure. So now we are going to discuss the audit of banking institution. The laws that are applicable for the banking, that is Banking Regulation Act 1949, State Bank of India Act 1955, Companies Act 2013, State Bank of India, Subsidiary Bank Act 1959, Regulation regarding the Regional Rural Banks Act 1976 are also applicable to the banking, and Information Technology Act 2000 is also very important in the field of banking. So, if we talk about the types of audit of banks, then we find that two types of banks are here. First is internal audit, second is external audit. External audit is also known as statutory audit. The first, internal audit. By bank's own staff, this type of audit is conducted, and the staff appointed as auditor under the control of inspection department of the bank. Means there is no outsider come to the business premise, bank premises to do the audit work. It is itself from the banking staff. As far as scope is unlimited and covers every aspect of branch working. Each and every aspect of branch working is covered under the internal audit. There is no limitation on the scope of internal audit. Surprise inspection. Surprise inspection at regular interval is conducted under this internal audit. It is an automatic moral check on the staff. Concurrent audit. Concurrent audit is a systematic examination of all financial transactions at a branch on continuous basis to ensure accuracy and due compliance with the internal system, procedure and guidelines of the bank. So, internal audit is the audit that is conducted by the bank by appointing a specific staff within the bank premises, within the bank officials to conduct this type of audit. Now, external audit. External audit will be conducted by a firm of chartered accountant and chartered accountant or auditor appointed by the bank by RBI and government authority. As far as concern the scope of external audit, it is defined in the appointment letter or guidelines letter by RBI, appointment letter by the RBI or government authority. In this case, the scope of audit is limited or curved by the appointment engagement or letter by the government. Generally, pre-intimated to the branch be audited. Here, no occurrence of surprise inspection. Auditor and his staff are come to the bank premises for the audit with the pre-intimated dates or method. This is called statutory audit. It is an audit prescribed by the different state like RBI, Income Tax Act, Companies Act, etc. Statutory audit of bank is mandatory. Statutory auditor are appointed by RBI every year. After the end of the previous financial year, in every branch of the bank, a very rigorous audit is conducted. So, if we analyze between the internal audit and external audit or internal audit or statutory audit, then statutory audit is much and more important. So, here we discuss about the external audit or statutory audit. Stages in bank audit or process of audit of a bank. There are four stages. First is preliminary work, Second is evaluation of internal control system. Third is preparation of audit program. And the last is preparation and submission of audit report. Let me discuss the process of bank audit step by step. First step is preliminary audit. In performing the audit, the auditor should have the knowledge which bank is operate. The auditor introduce self with the relevant provisions and laws and ascertain the duties and responsibilities. That auditor also known the economic environment in which bank is operate. So this preliminary aspect of audit is very much necessary for the auditor, and he will make the audit plan according to the knowledge or observation gained in the process of preliminary audit step. And the audit planning includes obtaining internal audit report, proper allocation of work among the audit team. Actually, preliminary audit is done by the auditor to make the audit plan that will be surely successful with a better or perfect outcome of the audit assignment completion. So, in his audit plan, auditor have to be include obtaining internal audit report, proper allocation of work among audit team. Second point, review latest available inspection report and concurrent audit report of bank branch, if any. Third, study of significant policies of the branch and computer system, because it imparts about the management process of the bank. Fourth is study the previous year's statutory report and LFAR, long form of audit report. Fifth point, keep a note of point you come across during audit which are relevant for LFAR. We will discuss after 5-10 minutes regarding the LFAR in detail. So, after getting the observations from the preliminary audit, the auditor find himself more capable to make his audit plan according to the nature and size of the particular bank branch in which he is going to conduct the statutory audit. Now, second step is evaluation of internal control system. Internal control system evaluation we earlier discussed 2 or 3 times. The objective is same in each and every case. In case of banking, internal control evaluation is an important element of the audit process. In the case of audit of bank, evaluation of design and operation of computer enable the bank auditor to perform more effective audit. Internal control would include accounting and administrative control. Accounting controls review the financial records and register as to ensure their reliability, ensure prevention of fraud and errors and omissions and irregularities. Whereas administrative control review the decision making process and laying down authority or delegation of powers by the management. So here administrative control is more wide than accounting control, because accounting control is a part of administrative control. Accounting control ensures the maintenance of proper books of accounts, whereas administrative control, firstly, it include accounting control and other controls that is related to the human resource or employees or personnel. So, administrative control have a wide range in comparison to accounting control. Then why the auditor get the knowledge of internal control system? Actually, with the help of knowledge of internal control system, auditor finds himself that which area of banking operation is going with a strong out, and is there any area in which internal control system is weak. He maintained the difference between these two areas, and for the area in which internal control system generating proper output for that particular area, the auditor can find himself in audit assignment with relax by using test sample. But in case of weaker areas of internal control system that not providing the proper output, the auditor is required to go with the each and every transactions examination so that he can find out the actual picture of the state of affairs and profit and loss or transactions recorded in the books of accounts of the bank. So, as the second step, evaluation of internal control system or examination of internal control system is very much important. Third point, in the process of bank audit, third is preparation of audit program. After the getting observation in the step of preliminary audit, then second step, evaluation of internal control system, the auditor is capable to make his audit program. What is audit program? Audit program actually set of instruction given by the auditor to his staff for performing better audit assignment. In framing audit program, due weightage should be given by the auditor to areas where in his view there areas weakness in the internal control system. In step whatever he find weak, the statutory audit program is different from the branch audit. At the branch level, only basic banking operations are covered, but in statutory audit program at the head office, inter-office accounts are also included. Means a statutory audit provide a comprehensive examination of the books of accounts related to branch also. The next step is preparation and submission of the audit report. The audit report is the end product of the audit. Through the audit report, the auditor convey his observations, comments, opinion on the financial statements. There are three types of audit report. First is statutory report, second is tax audit report, third is LFAR, that is long form audit report. Statutory report contains the paragraph regarding the report on financial statement, whether they are providing true and fair view or not. Management responsibility for financial statement, that management has been already make their effort up to the level of extent they have for preparation of correct financial statement. Report on the legal and regulatory requirement, that all the legal and regulations has been complied by the banking operations. And opinion. In opinion, the auditor have to make clear that what type of report he is going with. Qualified, unqualified, reverse or disclaimer of opinion. The second type of audit report is tax audit report. This type of audit done under section 44AB of the Income Tax Act 1961, and the report is submitted in two prescribed form, that is form 3CA and 3CD. The third type of audit report in case of bank is LFAR, long form audit report. If the auditor is submitting an audit report, even he is liable to submit LFAR also. It includes a questionnaire formulated by RBI. It includes and to be filled by auditor after discussing the points with branch head. It have a prescribed format that is available with the RBI website only. So this was the process or stages in bank audit. Preliminary work or audit, evaluation of internal control system, preparation of audit program, and preparation and submission of audit report. Let me start the statutory audit. Statutory audit of bank can be defined as an audit to ensure that the financial statement and books of account presented to the regulators and the public are fair and accurate. It is an audit that is prescribed by a different state such as Income Tax Act, Reserve Bank of India, Companies Act, and so on. The statutory audit of bank is mandatory, and the RBI in association with ICAI, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, appoints a statutory auditor for the same. At the end of every year, a rigorous statutory audit is conducted in every branch of a bank. This this is very much required by the law, that statutory audit should be there in each and every type of bank. Now, regarding statutory auditor, some other point is there. Statutory audit is vital. Statutory auditors ensure that the audit report issued by them are compliant with the requirements prescribed in the following standards. What type of standards? First is standards of auditing 700, second is standards of auditing 705, and standard of auditing 706, that is applicable to the concern. 700, forming an opinion and reporting on financial statements. 705, modifications to the opinion in the independent auditor's report. And the 706 is emphasis of matter paragraphs and other matter paragraphs in the independent auditor's report, that is revived. So statutory reports are generally given a time frame within which they are required to undertake the audit of the bank branches that are allocated to them. An auditor must accept the appointment immediately and send a formal intimation to the management of the branch and inquire about the information necessary to conduct an audit. The assigned auditor would have to ensure that their report includes the qualification of deposits, advances, interest income, and interest expenses. The essential element to verify in a statutory audit of a bank are following. Let me have a discussion regarding the elements to be verified in a statutory audit of a bank, that are: first is cash verification procedure, second is tax related items, and the third is verification of loan accounts. So first we discuss the cash verification procedure. A statutory auditor must verify the cash balances at the branch of a bank by 31st March of every year. Blue is the checklist for cash verification then an auditor must follow. The auditor have to check whether the branch is being opened at the time as indicated in the guidelines, and the branch manager is present at the branch when it is being opened. Yes, opening and closing is necessary for the cash verification. Second, whether the joint custodian are opening the cash public safe or not. Third, if any unrecorded security documents or objects are placed in the cash safe, then they will be in the consideration of audit. Fourth, if the branch is maintaining a record when a currency is accepted from the public, this would also include the records of receiving mutilated notes. If the regular alarm system is functioning properly or not. Whether all the other entrances to the bank and the ones within the bank are locked at the time of opening of the cash room. Actually, cash vault opening is, or cash safe opening is very important event in the bank. because all the cash more than 90% or 95% cash is exist in the cash safe or cash. So it is very much necessary. Opening and closing time should be very safe. 7 point, ensure that any weapon stay outside and cash room when it is being opened or closed. If the cash is being carried from the cash room to the counter and vice versa in locker box, both the situation required that the main gate of the bank should be closed for the safety. Last point, ensure that the ultraviolet lamps and the cash counting machines are in working condition. So all these elements should be considered by the auditor as a necessary step at the time of cash verification process. Now, second is tax related items. A statutory auditor is required to ensure that all the tax related items and compliances that are generally applicable to a bank has been verified or examined by the auditor. It includes first, the tax must be levied and deducted at an appropriate rate on all the payments made by the bank towards interest on deposit, rent, payment to professionals or payment to contractors, and so. The auditor have to ensure that all the payments for the tax are on time and all the challans for the same are proceed. Auditor have to verify the payments with their challan. Auditor have to ensure that all the tax return are filed on time. If the TDS certificate is issued and form 15G/15H is collected and sent on time. Review on the quality of compliance. If concurrent auditor are being conducted at the bank. Fifth point, review on the quality of compliance if concurrent audit are being conducted at the bank. Concurrent audit means internal audit. So auditor have to check that what quality, what level of internal audit is there. He may rely upon the report generated by the internal audit or not. Sixth point, he have to verify if the RBI has audited the branch in the past. If yes, ensure the same is closed and review on the quality of compliance seen at the moment. He have to check the report presented by the RBI regarding his visit. If the branch has a copy of the insurance policy obtained by their corporate office, then it should be checked by the auditor and compared by the payment mode, whether it is cash or by check. Point 8. If the branch has the lease documents with them, then auditor should confirm regarding the lease. If a branch is taking a confirmation of balance from other bank in which they are maintaining an account, then a reconciliation should be there and auditor is authorized to confirm the balances or group of balances from the related branch. 10. Review if any the explanation of an outstanding entry in the system suspense account. Suspense account should be verified by the auditor carefully, and reasons for the suspense account from the side of auditor try to find and close the suspense account. The third part is the loan account verification. The assets of most banks majorly comprise of loan accounts. The statutory auditor is required to review the loan account with extra care. For this purpose, the auditor is required to split the loan accounts at least in the three categories. First is preliminary check, second is disbursement, and the third is post disbursement inspection. Let me discuss one by one. First, we discuss about the preliminary check. All these are three regarding the loan accounts verification. Means when an auditor is going with his audit assignment in the bank and he is at the section of loan account verification, then he have to verify in three categories all loan account. First is preliminary check, second is disbursement, third is post disbursement inspection. So first is preliminary check. Banks are vested with the responsibility of conducting a preliminary check of all the accounts prior to considering the project for evaluation. A statutory audit must review the documents for preliminary check. The documents are: point A, prescribed application form, loan application, know your customer compliance, KYC compliance, latest audited financial statements, project report, projected profit and loss account and balance sheet, and projected cash flow also. Board resolutions for availing the credit facilities. All the government departments registration. Technical review. Various points may be there, but these are the main and common point that have to be included by the auditor in the preliminary check of loan accounts. Now, second is disbursement. A statutory auditor has the responsibility to check the disbursement, and if it happens under the fulfillment of all the terms and conditions of the sanction letter, it should also be ensured that an acceptance letter for the same has also been acquired. Now, post disbursement inspection. The bank maintains a proper review of the active documents. So a statutory auditor has to responsibility to check the following essential elements during the post disbursement inspection. There must be an acceptance letter that is duly acknowledged by the borrowers concerning all the loan accounts. There should be a proper execution of the loan document and records as indicated by the terms and conditions of the sanction letter. All the original documents must be held in safe custody with which is free persistence. Auditor have to ensure proper maintenance of confidential reports and NOCs from existing bankers. Auditor is expected that the bank should check the civil report and score for any adverse comments. External and internal credit rating, valuation of security, due diligence certificate, verification of the drawing power of the accounts are calculated precisely, and a margin is maintained according to the sanction letter. Verification of any adverse comment on the audited balance sheet or stock audit report. Auditor have to get verification of the schedule of payments according to the sanction letter is initiated. Verify the approval document for the same if any. So the statutory audit must inspect for any non-performing asset, that is NPA. Every account must be treated as NPA if they are overdue or stops to generate any income for the bank for 90 days continuously. So in statutory audit, the auditor have to following these standard, and it is expected from the auditor that as an essential element he have to verify in a statutory audit of a bank what cash verification process, tax related items, and verification of loans. For cash verification, there are various elements. For tax related items, there are various elements. And for loan account verification, there are preliminary check, disbursement, post disbursement inspection. So all these have to verify by the auditor to do a audit assignment concerning to a bank. After that, he will find the audit report and submit to the bank. Now, audit report. This is the end product of any type of auditing. Let me discuss it. Audit report. A statutory report has to submit an audit report after conducting a thorough audit of bank's branch. This is the liability of auditor. In case of statutory audit, he have to submit the audit report. An auditor has the responsibility to create a report in which the following has been stated as mentioned in the engagement letter or appointment letter. What are the points? Let me discuss first. If the balance sheet shows a fair and accurate view of all the essential particulars required to exhibit an honest and right view of affairs within the bank. Second point, if the profit and loss account display the correct balance for a period covered by such an account. If there were any transaction carried out by the branch which does not come within the power of a bank's branch. Any other issue that our statutory auditor feels that has to be brought to the notice of the statutory central auditor. So after completing the audit work by the auditor have to submit an audit report by including the point related to true and fair view from the financial statement, that is balance sheet and profit and loss account, and declaration of all essential information. And other issues that is feel important by the statutory auditor. Now, LFAR. The term and conditions of public, private and foreign sector banks require the branches of the bank to be audited by a statutory auditor and furnish a LFAR. So this long form audit report must be issued apart from the standard audit report that is required as per the regulatory requirements. So two reports are there. First is statutory report of statutory audit. Second is LFAR. The LFAR of a bank branch must be submitted before the 30th June of every year. 30th June of every year. This means that an auditor has to plan the audit for submitting the LFAR without any delay. An auditor may submit a executive summary of the LFAR if they feel it is required. It is at the option of the bank or auditor. So this was all about the bank audit, and we discussed regarding the statutory audit being required by the law. Again, in the series of special audit, now the topic is manufacturing audit. Let me discuss about the audit in a manufacturing concern or manufacturing business. A manufacturing audit is a critical tool in every industry arsenal, ensuring that the quality, safety and efficiency of their process are maintained at optimal levels. It holds the key to uncovering potential issues and enabling proactive solutions, thereby fortifying the organization's operational performance. Understanding the significance and purpose of a manufacturing audit is crucial for businesses looking to remain competitive in today's fast-paced market. So, what is manufacturing audit? A manufacturing or production audit is a careful examination of a manufacturing organization's operations. What is the purpose behind it? It aims to assess whether the organizations complies with the standards, regulations, and procedures that ensure high quality production and safe working conditions. So compliance with all these is must. This methodical evaluation spans all stages of the manufacturing process, from the procurement of raw material to the final product shipment. Audit can be conducted internally by the organization, third parties, or regulatory bodies. They are essential in identifying inefficiency, non-compliance, or potential risk, enabling the organization to continuously improve the uphold its commitment to quality and safety. So, manufacturing audit is examination of organizations' operation, whether they are in accordance with the policy guiding or in or accordance with the objective of the business. Now we talk about the objectives of manufacturing audit. Why manufacturing audit is required? So main objectives are, first is ensures procedures are aligned with expectations. Conducting a manufacturing audit is crucial for verifying that all operating procedures and practices are executed as planned and meet the set expectations, ensuring consistency and quality in manufacturing operation. So, manufacturing audit examine the operational performance of the business concern. Second is identification and correction of issues. A detailed audit can identify any deviations, differences, or issues with the manufacturing processes. And these defense allows for the timely implementation of corrective actions to rectify these issues, promoting operational efficiency and product quality. So this is the duty of auditor to identify the weaker area in the manufacturing operation and suggest for correction of the issues. Third, enhances process consistency and work. Auditing provides insight into the consistency of manufacturing processes and identifies area for improvement in workflows. Even evaluating the interaction between different terms and processes paves the way for optimizing operations for better efficiency and productivity. So this is also a great purpose for manufacturing audit. Next is demonstrate proactivity and commitment to quality. Regular manufacturing audits signal to stakeholders, including customers and suppliers, that your organization is proactive about maintaining high quality standards. They underscore a commitment to excellence and build trust in your supply management. So as a result of audit, proactivity demonstrated is possible. Point 5, promotes continuous improvement. Beyond identifying current issues, audits underscore and organization's dedication to ongoing improvement. By revealing areas for enhancement, it sets the groundwork for future growth, innovation, and quality advancement in manufacturing process. So these are the objective by which the manufacturing audit should be conducted. These are gray areas, whether it is first, second, third, and fourth. All the gray area. Let me discuss why is a manufacturing audit important. Manufacturing audit play an important role in ensuring the longevity and success of business in manufacturing sector. This process helps verifying compliance with industry standards and regulations. It also identifies area of inefficiency and risk that could lead to costly downtime, recalls, or legal issues. Through a comprehensive review of processes, audits help streamline operations, reduce waste, and enhance productivity, which in turn can significantly boost a company's profit. Then why not the manufacturing audit important? Yes, it is very important. By ensuring products meet quality standards, audit contributes to maintaining the improving brand reputation and customer trust, key elements for competitive advantages in today's market. So engaging in frequent manufacturing audit empowers business to stay ahead to potential challenges for and adapt to the constantly evolving manufacturing landscape. So manufacturing audit having various important aspects for which the manufacturing audit may be conducted or accepted from the side of SSA. So importance of manufacturing audit is at a high level. Various types of benefits are there from manufacturing audit which increase the importance of manufacturing audit. Let me discuss the benefits of a manufacturing audit. Conducting a manufacturing audit provides invaluable insights into the operational efficiency and compliance of a business, paving the way for enhanced product quality and safety. So what are the benefits? Let me discuss. First is improved quality of product. A manufacturing audit scrutinizes every aspect of the production process. Each product meets the set quality standards. Enhanced quality control leads to a superior end product which boosts customers' satisfaction and loyalty. So, benefit is improved quality product. Next is increased efficiency. Manufacturing audit help identifying bottlenecks, inefficiencies, and area of improvement within the manufacturing process. And by addressing these issues, the overall efficiencies of the manufacturing process can be significantly enhanced. But this may be happen only after a proper manufacturing audit. Next, reduce cost. Through the identification and elimination of waste, inefficiencies, and unnecessary processes, a manufacturing audit can help to reduce operating cost. Actually, this ultimately leads to increased profitability and competitiveness in the market. With the help of reduced cost, the manufacturing concern get more customers in comparison to earlier situation. The fourth is improved supplier relationship. Regular audits convey a sense of seriousness and commitment to maintaining quality standards. This can help foster stronger, more collaborative relationship with suppliers, leading to improved communication, better service, and more reliable supply chain. The fifth benefit is a more streamlined and effective manufacturing process. The above benefits culminate in a more streamlined and effective manufacturing process. By identifying potential issues before they become serious problem, a manufacturing audit ensures that the production process runs smoothly and effectively optimizing output and quality. So these are the just some reasons why a manufacturing concern is essential for an manufacturing industry business. In addition, there are tons of perks to discover once you incorporate this type of audit into your operations. So manufacturing audit provide various types of benefits. Even it help to fix right price and right margins, because audited books of accounts provide reliable and faithful information. How to perform manufacturing audit? So here is the steps for performing manufacturing audit. Conducting a quality manufacturing audit is not a walk in the park. To do it successfully, there are certain steps that we discuss one by one. First is select the ideal audit type. The first step in conducting a successful manufacturing audit involves selecting the ideal audit type that align with your business specific needs and objectives. This decision should be guided by the overarching goal and focus you intend to achieve through the audit process. For instance, if your objective is to assess the enhance the overall quality management system within your organization, opting for a system audit would be most appropriate. This type involves a comprehensive evaluation of your quality management system against established standards such as ISO 9001, focusing on its implementation and effective throughout the company. So in first step, ideal type of audit is identified. Now the second step, list of potential tasks and perform the audit. Based on the audit, we will perform, we will have to undertake certain tasks to accurately measure manufacturing processes, overall performances, and effectiveness. These tasks can vary depending on the type of audit you are conducting. So in the first step, the style or type of audit choosing is very much important. For example, if you are performing a system audit, you may need to review the company's organizational structure, process flow diagrams, and quality control proceedings. On the other hand, if you are conducting a product audit, you will need to take a closer look at the products themselves and assess whether or not they meet quality standard or not. So first step was select the ideal audit type. Second step is list potential tasks and perform the audit. The third step is document the findings. Documenting the findings is a important step following the completion of the audit work. This process involves meticulously recording all observed results, deficiencies, and areas of non-compliance identified during the audit. The documentation should be detailed, providing a clear and actionable overview each finding. Additionally, this documentation serves as a historical record facilitating future audits by providing benchmark against which improvement can be measured. So, make sure to document your finding thoroughly and accurately. So, from the side of documentation, it is very much important. The results should be documented. The next step is determining and conduct corrective actions. Once the audit findings are thoroughly documented, the next step is to analyze these findings to determine the necessary corrective actions. This analysis should involve a detailed review of the audit report to identify pattern of deficiencies, isolating specific areas where manufacturing processes, quality control procedures, or organizational structure fall short of the required standards. Even all these conducted by the auditor. After determining the corrective actions, it's imperative to execute these changes systematically and monitor their impact continuously. Means to find out the fraud and taken the right steps. Monitoring involves regularly assessing the affected process or areas to ensure that the implemented changes are generating the expected improvements. And the last point in the process or schedule, that schedule a follow-up audit. Scheduling follow-up audit is an essential step in the manufacturing audit process. After you have implemented the necessary corrective actions based on the initial audit findings, a follow-up audit allows you to evaluate whether these changes have been effectively addressed the issues identified and resulted in the desired improvement. This subsequent audit should carefully planned and conducted with the same rigor as the initial one. It should examine the specific areas where changes were made to assess their impact the overall manufacturing process. By conducting a follow-up audit, you can verify the effectiveness of the corrective actions, track your progress towards manufacturing excellence, and identify any area that may require further improvement. So, after the corrective measures, follow-up should be a part of auditing process in case of manufacturing concern. So, manufacturing audit is very much important, being it provide the examination of manufacturing organizations operations and provide that whether the manufacturing concern complies with the related laws or not. This audit can be conducted internally by the organization or by the third party or by the regulatory bodies. They are essential in identifying inefficiency, non-compliance, or potential risk, enabling the organization to continuously improve and uphold its commitment to quality and safety. So, in conclusion, we can say that manufacturing audit is an audit conducted by the auditor or organized by the owner of the manufacturing concern to identify whether the costing records are providing true and fair view or not, whether the books of accounts of a manufacturing concern is in accordance with the prevailing laws and compliance the management policy, and whether the cost of production or labor, material and overhead are properly accounted for, and whether all the accounting work of a manufacturing concern has been done in proper manner, and actually showing the clear picture of state of affairs of the manufacturing business concerning to balance sheet, profit and loss account, and other statements that are maintained by the manufacturing concern under the head of books of accounts. Okay.